Hi everyone, Kelly here. So let's talk about being loose in watercolor. Basically give myself a warm up in 15 minutes. So I'm going to share with you guys today a lupin painting that I did. This is for my watercolor affinity group that we just finished 6 weeks of. I'm so sad to see you guys go, and I do hope to open it up again in the fall. But we did this great little lupin painting, and it did take me about 15 to 20 minutes with the drawing and explaining things. But I just wanted to share with you that I'm crooked. That's not what I wanted to share with you. There we go. So I just wanted to share with you guys just an easy way to loosen up, especially if you're a perfectionist when it comes to painting in watercolor. It's one of those loose mediums that everybody says, oh, just kind of relax and go with the flow. But when you are a perfectionist, you are just learning, a beginner, you're like super stressed out when you're doing this. Am I right? If you think I'm right, leave me a comment down below. I'd love to see how many of you guys think the same way. So I've been painting for over 20 years now, and I still do that. I still kind of get in my head. So this is a great way. I've been doing this of a couple of artists, Kimberly Dean and Beth Cluth, and we do a Thursday night kind of a create. What is it called? It's called Make Time to Create. And it's just a Thursday night that we've pre-recorded. We get together and we do these little 15-minute paintings. We don't know what we're painting until we spin a wheel and we see what image it is. So I don't have an idea of what I'm going to do, what steps I'm going to take before I paint it. And it's going to be done in 15 minutes. So that's kind of a pressure, right? But I found it isn't really. It's super fun. It's relaxing because I know I'm only doing it for 15 minutes. I don't have these big expectations on these beautiful paintings that it's supposed to be. And it's a great way for you, if you are a perfectionist, to let loose a little bit. So I'm just going to walk you through really quickly this little live demo that I did for my group. Not really a tutorial per se, but I just wanted to kind of explain it and maybe a little bit of my thought process as we go along. So stick around. Do I have broccoli in my teeth? I just had my lunch.
Hi, what do you want? You want to be in the video too?
I apologize for the mess. I am getting ready to put my cards together for... Anyway, that's not what this is about. So let's take a look at a really quick lupin painting that I did for my Watercolor Affinity 2 group. And we did this one live, so I did shorten things a little bit. This is how I work if I'm trying to work really quickly. Usually I will paint in the sky, then I will paint in the water, then I will paint in the trees. I have like this process that I usually do. But because I'm doing this live and I'm trying to save like all that dry time when we're talking live, because nobody wants to sit and listen to a blow dryer for a couple of minutes, I try to do this a little bit differently for this type of painting. And I have been loving, absolutely loving, my new weekly group that we get together called Make Time to Create. It's a weekly inspiration on Thursday nights where we do this live. I have just been having such a great time with this. I've really been, pushing myself to create a little bit faster within that 15 to 20 minutes. I do warm up all the time, but I usually don't necessarily finish them all. They're more like just kind of quick studies, and it's just, just warming up. Sometimes it's just color that I will put on the paper. But these have been, full paintings basically done in 15 minutes. I'm a pretty fast painter. Sometimes my classes will tell me to slow down a little bit. But, the problem with that is that because you're painting loose, you're not thinking about it, and you just do things a little bit quicker. And trying to slow that down doesn't always work because then you're thinking more. Doing these 15 minutes paintings have just been really fun for me. I really enjoy it, and I would recommend that you try these yourself because it really gets you to loosen up. It takes out that pressure because you're not planning on doing this masterpiece. You're just, practicing your colors or practicing shapes. And it just takes the pressure off of it. So, when I'm doing this one, I was like, oh gosh, I'm usually putting that water in before I do all of these leaves and trees. At this point, just, there's not much depth in this. So I'm starting to add a little bit more color, and you forget that you don't have to put everything in at the beginning, because when you do that, it tends to get a little bit muddied. So you have to really kind of, just go with the process, go with the flow a little bit more when you're creating these. And then once I did dry it, because obviously I have to dry it at some point here, you can really start to get in a few of those layers. So you can see here, I am now at that next step where I'm really starting to add some details. The first part of this was really quick, really easy, just kind of, did my shapes basically, where the water, the tree line, no details, just color blocking. That's what I'm trying to say. And then once that's done, then I dried it. And now I started adding some of these details. So it's just, how do I say this? It's just, it's different. It's a different way to paint. And I think it's really helped me become a little bit looser. And I started doing these dreamscapes and things when I was in North Carolina. And you can go back to a couple of the videos from before where I really started exploring this. And then when I joined the group, we started doing this, and I'd already kind of been doing it. And it just really mirrored everything I had just learned, where I was just having fun painting for the joy of it, not necessarily for the outcome of it. But when I joined up with them to do these 15-minute paint-alongs, I almost say that I had a little bit of a heads up because I feel like I'm cheating a little bit because I'd been doing this, and it really is one of those things you have to practice. It doesn't come really easy. Maybe for some people, not for me because I'm a detailed painter, but it's just a great thing to do if you are a heady painter. That's the best way to say it. So, after I got on all the other stuff in here, then I started detailing, and I still had plenty of time to do that. So I tried to do things a little quicker. So I did some of the bleed proof white by Peach Martin, instead of the gouache, because I knew that I wouldn't have to go over it. Sometimes with gouache, it's a little bit more transparent. A bleed proof white, if I just go right from that jar, it's nice and bright white. And like I pop in those lupins over the top with the purple because I didn't know where they were going to go. I wasn't going to paint around them because that takes too long. I didn't have time for masking fluid. So again, it's just a nice little cheat. So then I did some splattering, just trying to bring some of those little details on really quickly without, again, super fussy, right? Just splattering. And I splattered a little bit more of the white, did a little bit of purple, just so it has some illusion and maybe some flowers in the background. And it was just so much fun. So I would say join us on Thursday nights. And if you can't do it live, we release it live every Thursday, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., and that's Eastern Standard Time. But come over and join us and watch. But they are pre-recorded. So if you can't do it live, we're going to be sharing it afterward. So join in anytime you want, and you can go back. We've been doing this since, I think, May. I don't know if it was mid-May or beginning of May, but I think we have 4 episodes out so far. So a month. Yeah. So May 15th, maybe. Doing my math backwards here. So you can join in on any of the ones we've done, and we'd love to have you in our Facebook group as well. And you can get the reference photo in there, as well as if you want to post what you've done in that 15 minutes. You guys have a little bit of a head start because you know exactly what the painting's going to be. But if you do it live with us, you are right there along with us, and you don't have that extra time. and it's okay if you do have extra time or you want to put a little bit more into it. That's fine. There's been a number of folks over there that said, it took me 15 minutes to do the first part, and then I detailed it for another 15. But we love to see it. We love to see what you guys are doing. So head over there, join us each week. We'd love to have you. Until then, just start practicing. Pull out your paints, start playing with them. I do want to thank my Patreons as well, real quick. I do have a new Patreon. It started in June. So a special shout out and thank you to my newest Patrons this week, Judith, Renee, Ellen, and Carmen. And also for my monthly ones, Pat, Scott, Diane, Ra, Kathy, Jennifer, Deb, Felicia, Mary, and Marcella. If you would like to see some behind the scenes, plus a full tutorial once a month, and you get to see some YouTube videos without the ads, I'd love to have you. Thanks again. Bye-bye.